Welcome to Magic Hour Talk Show with Paul Chappell, episode 15. I'm by myself today. I have some bad news to share with you guys. Curtis is not here today. He has a fever, and as you know, he works at a hospital, so we're hoping it's not COVID 19, but there is a strong possibility that it is. His wife is also sick, so please put them in your prayers. If you believe in prayers and that kind of thing, be greatly appreciated. We are all nervous right now. He is part of my family. I talked to him earlier today. I was asking about his symptoms. He hasn't lost his sense of taste or smell, so we're hoping. And this is crazy that we're actually hoping for this. We're hoping he just has the flu, or maybe a cold or something. But the fact that you're hoping somebody has the flu is just shows you what crazy times we live in. Also, just to mention, people, wear your mask. I'm just sick of all this selfishness in our culture. Well, you need to wear your mask. Masks were created for a reason. Would you just ask yourself? Would you, if you're getting surgery at a hospital, would you rather your doctor be wearing a mask or not being wear a mask? Okay, think about that and ask yourself honestly, would you rather him wear a mask or not wear a mask when your body is cut open? And if the answer is you would rather him wear a mask, then how can you say that they are worthless? Okay, they prevent people spreading the disease. I'm just going to leave it at that. Don't want to get too much into this, but it's just really annoying me. We're blowing up here in South Carolina. I think in our county alone, we have like 1,500 people, which is not a lot since we have like half a million people in this county, but still, even in my little zip code, I think that the count is 120 people have the virus. And I'm trying to think of the boundaries of my zip code, and that's a lot of people. Hopefully they're all in the hospital, but I don't know. Getting nervous out here. And I knew it was going to happen. As soon as I start seeing all those people at the beach, anyway, moving on. I just want to I did a whole video on Dr. Disrespect getting banned from Twitch. And he has released this he actually commented, this is 22 hours ago, so I'm getting kind of late. I'm sorry, I've been still working on The Last of Us Part 2, so you're going to have to forgive me. I've been working hard. We have finished with that walkthrough. You'll be getting the last episode. I'm filming this on Sunday, so you'll get it Monday at 5. By the time this airs, it'll probably already be up. So look forward to that. Dr. Disrespect has commented. He says, Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all for the support during this difficult time. Now, this is a natural segue from what I was just talking about, because I didn't notice originally when I made my last video about this. Apparently, one of the things he was doing is circulating coronavirus disinformation or misinformation, however you want to you term that. But he was, and I don't want to get into specifics of what he was saying, but some very ignorant stuff, and that may have been why he got banned. Some other people are saying it has something to do with his wife, his ex-wife or something like that. And I don't know whether that's true, but I read this other article in Engadget, and it mentioned the fact that some other Twitch people have been already banned from Say No to Rage, whoever that is, Pro Syndicate, and Henry G. They were accused of abuse. So It just seems like his time has come. And like I said, the whole disillusion of Mixer, I think definitely played a role here because suddenly Twitch didn't have to worry about their streamers getting snatched up by Mixer anymore. And the way I keep hearing it, nobody wants to be on Facebook Gaming because one of the things is they require you to use your real name, which a lot of streamers don't like. And I can definitely see where they're coming from because we got a lot of doxing going on in our current culture. It's very dangerous to put your real name on the internet for anything. So I can see why people would be hesitant to go to Facebook Gaming. So they're really Mixer was their only competition on the way I hear it. So that makes a lot of sense that once Mixer went down the tubes, they would go ahead and get Dr. Disrespect because the current climate right now, I heard he made a lot of jokes about racism and stuff, or he would say racist things and make a joke out of it, which turned people, the wrong way. Here's some other names: Bless RNG, Wolf 21, Warwitch TV, and I Am Spoon are some other people that got banned. So it says Twitch has been aware of problems with discriminatory moderation policy and sexual harassment on the site for a long while. And just last month, it formed a safety advisory council to help shape and uphold new policies. So there you go. Just a little bit more information about what may be happening. And like I said, we don't have anything definitive, but it sounds about right with what I thought from the first video that I was talking about. And I heard it's very easy to get banned on Twitch as well. I actually have a Twitch account that I've never used. I actually had this when Handsome Dave joined our site. We were kind of pushing to go in a little bit more in the gaming direction because gaming is such a lucrative business right now in every facet because it's just, you got the esports angle, you got the YouTube angle, you got people like Ninja making millions and millions of dollars. So, our thought for a while, I do have a gaming channel called Power Up. You can't find it on YouTube unless you put up Power Up Archive, which was the original name. So if you're interested in that, go look at it. We've put a lot of work into the site, but it hasn't gained any traction yet. But yes, we have attempted to do gaming. Gaming is still a big part of my channel. It's not the main part, but it's getting more and more that way because, like I've complained in the past, movies specifically keep getting moved back. For instance, as you see here, Disney has delayed Mulan once again to August this time. I think it was originally, it says right here, the film was originally scheduled to hit theaters last March, and then I think they delayed it to July, and then they've delayed it again because we have this new surge in coronavirus infections. And it also goes on to state that they've also pushed back Pixar's Soul, which is a movie with some black characters I saw, I was excited about. Raya and the Dragon, the 4th John Wick movie, and of course the entirety of the upcoming Marvel slate has been delayed. At this point, I'm calling it right now. I think they're going to end up, because even in August, I don't think we're going to be clear of this thing. So I'm calling it now. Mulan is going to be screaming somewhere, probably on Disney Plus, probably on some other platforms. They can do it. I mean, that Trolls movie made $100 million. People need stuff to watch. And frankly, I would do it before the kids go back to school, if they go back to school. So I think Disney needs to look into that, as well as Tenet. I know Christopher Nolan doesn't like digital media, He lacks his he doesn't even use a lot of special effects in his movies. He doesn't even like CGI. He's all about the film and practical effects. So he's one of the lone holdouts trying to push his movie into the theaters. But I think he's going to have to come to reality. It's not going to work. So I don't want to know what to say about that. There was a nice article on Coda. I don't know how to pronounce this site's name. It's one reason I never use their relate or relay their articles because I can't even. Coda. I know people are saying you're an idiot, Paul Chappell. Kodaku. Anyway, whatever this site is, they had a good article about mixers. And this is the thing, folks. If you watch this channel for any length of time, you know I hate Microsoft. I think they're a horrible company. And a lot of you youngsters in your 20s, you don't know the history of Microsoft like I do. Microsoft have killed so many different companies that were innovative. Any company that came out with anything innovative that they thought would challenge their Windows monopoly, they would buy them out and then just kill the technology. So Microsoft in my town was hated for that. So I would never trust anything, any platform Microsoft put out. That's not to say companies like Apple don't kill stuff. They kill stuff all the time, but it's usually their own products. They usually move ahead and give you something better. Microsoft just kills stuff. So I was reading this article. It was talking about all these people who moved to Mixer from Twitch. A lot of them have been banned on Twitch for stupid reasons. And they had staked their whole career on Mixer. And they had built up a fan base on Mixer. And now they have nothing now because they were banned on Twitch. And now Mixer is going down the drain. There's one screamer, her name Lindsay Wood. She found out on a road trip, and you can read it right here. Once I realized my entire channel would be deleted, that the community I love like family would be ripped apart, that 2.5 years full of 80-hour scream weeks, that everything I loved and adored about Mixer would be gone in 30 days, I began to feel my life start to shadow beyond my control. So my heart goes out to these people because, believe me, I know what it feels like to have to rely on these corporations for your livelihood. Sometimes they can be very arbitrary with decisions. YouTube has done some stuff. I'm not going to complain anymore because they've done some stuff to limit us in the past. And we've had a very hard go of some of the things. Specifically, I'm talking about COPA. And you fellow YouTubers know what I'm talking about. But there's another Mixer partner, Foxyzilla. She says, when I heard the news, I had no prior knowledge, no warning at all. The whole thing caught me completely by surprise. With everything so raw after a difficult, sleepless night, it was a surprise that came in the worst possible moment. So it was just a very interesting article about a lot of people choosing Mixer because they didn't want to be on Twitch, because Twitch, I guess, has some arbitrary rules. And a lot of people don't want to be on Facebook either, like I said, because of the issues with having to use their real name. So it's just a very interesting article. And I have to say, we need competition in the market because I'm one of those people who will admit to you that any corporation has the power to limit what's on their platform. It is their platform. It's not an abridgment of free speech. It's only an abridgment of free speech if the government puts you in jail. That's it. But I also feel like in this country, we need alternatives. We need competition because we don't need these a lot of these platforms just having these arbitrary decisions that can impact your bottom line so drastically. One reason why you really need to be diversifying your channel in any possible way. I mean, there's podcasts on with Apple and iTunes and all that. There's Spotify. There's Vimeo to a lesser extent. There's Facebook to a certain extent, but it's really not a really big competitor to YouTube yet. So I don't know. This just made me feel for these people because I know what they're going through from my personal experience with YouTube. And I do hope that they find some peace on Twitch, because the way this article was pointing it out, it's getting really hard to be a screamer these days. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to discuss was this headline I saw on comicbook.com, which is the Disney bosses still haven't thought about Frozen 3. Frozen 2 director Mark Smith hasn't even begun to think about Frozen 3. The last installment was another gigantic success for Disney, and it would make sense to wonder when the next trip to Arendelle will be. Well, according to the director, you could be waiting a little while. Disney just put out Frozen 2 Into the Unknown on Disney+. That documentary sheds a spotlight on the creation of the second movie, and there's a ton of good content in there. Collider spoke to Smith about if there were any discussions about Frozen 3 yet, and that's a long way out. So, basically, they're not thinking about Frozen 3 yet, which means they haven't gotten to the end of fully exploiting their success with Frozen 2 yet. Because believe me, there's a lot of ways. They got toys, they got shorts, and all kind of things they can do with Frozen 2. Here's my thing. I have plenty of ideas. If y'all want to copy me, go right ahead, Disney. Here's what I propose with Frozen 3. Just a few ideas. First of all, one of the things I'm kind of annoyed. I was kind of annoyed with Frozen 2 was the fact that Anna is so freaking obsessed with Elsa. And I felt like now that she's a queen at the end of Frozen 2, I feel like the natural thing would be for Anna and Elsa to come in some kind of conflict. Now that I think they're both respective queens. I think Elsa is queen of North Ultra, if I'm not mistaken, and Anna's of course queen of Arendelle. So my thought would be that there would have to be some kind of conflict between them, and maybe the two sides would have to go to war or something. Maybe that would be too violent for a kids movie, or something along the lines of Anna discovers that she also has powers, but her powers are based in fire, which is a direct conflict with Elsa. And because of that, they fight, and maybe Anna has a Dark Phoenix moment. And if you know what I'm talking about, if you're a Marvel fan, Dark Phoenix was, of course, what happened to Jean Grey of X-Men. Her powers kind of overwhelmed her, and she had to be put down by the other X-Men. So maybe, and since they're already promoting a power that one of the X-Men has, I'm sure they stole a little bit from Marvel in creating Elsa. So my thought is, because let's face it, Elsa is a freaking mutant when it really comes down to it. So my thought is make both of them mutants. Anna's powers just manifested later in her life. And like I said, she becomes so powerful that she has to fight Elsa at some point because her power is threatening the kingdom. Or they could go on an adventure together. We have to bring them together in some way, right? That's naturally what has been done in all the movies. This conflict between sisters and wanting to help each other out, Or in the case of the first movie, Elsa wanting to isolate herself and Anna wanting to bring her back. So my thought is maybe they find out that their parents didn't actually die in the shipwreck. They're actually being held somewhere by, I don't know, some crazy person in another kingdom. I'm not sure why they would have been kidnapped, but it would be interesting if this enemy, whoever they are, had powers of their own. And again, because Elsa's so overpowered now, you need to counteract that by introducing somebody else with powers. Elsa and Anna have not only do they have to travel to somewhere in Atahalan, somewhere near Atahalan, because that's where their parents were headed, right? So my thought would be they have to travel to some other land near Atahalan where they find out their parents are being held and they have to free them from the clutches of this evil person in this neighboring kingdom. Maybe it's another king in a neighboring kingdom. Who knows? The possibilities are endless, though. They have a great thing going with the powers, though. They did the whole power thing with Tangled. And I felt like, in a lot of ways, Tangled was a prototype movie that led to Frozen. But they had a lot of similarities. Both protagonists, both Elsa and Rapunzel, had powers. Rapunzel, of course, could heal people with her hair. She could lengthen your life with her hair, the powers in her hair. So I thought that was always interesting. And of course, we know that Rapunzel is probably like a cousin. I think that was one of the behind the scene things that we discovered. They even had Rapunzel appearing in one of during the I think coronation of Elsa in the first Frozen movie. So yeah, there's connections there, but this whole magical thing could be something that clearly could be continued. Maybe Elsa's mother has powers too. Maybe that's why they were captured, and maybe it's her powers are being exploited by this maniac king in another kingdom or something like that. Something along those lines. But the possibilities are endless, and it would make for great toys too. So, but my point here is that they really need to focus on the villain of the next movie. Because if you think about it, there really wasn't a villain in the second movie. Not really. There was obviously some villains in the first movie, but the second movie, we need a solid villain. We need somebody that can face off with Elsa. And some super powered throwdown. We need a great super powered throwdown. Sort of what Elsa did in the second movie. But she was fighting the wind spirit and the water spirit. That horse, that battle she had with the horse was really badass. We should see more of that stuff like that. But yeah, so that's just my thoughts on Frozen 3. I definitely think they should get right on that because we know the problems they're having with reopening Disneyland. I'm hearing reports that they may even push that back. A lot of the workers at Disneyland even signed a petition, I hear, to asking for Disney to do that very thing because they're afraid to return to work with all this surge of coronavirus infections. But that's it. That's all I got for today. Not really a long show by any means. It's probably my shortest show to date. But, I want to discuss one more thing. I almost forgot. The Last of Us 2. Now, I wanted to give my official review since Kurt couldn't be here because Kurt actually did the walkthrough. He actually played the game. He actually played the first game. So he would probably be able to give a more comprehensive review of this game. But I've watched the gameplay. Take this with a grain of salt because I did not play the first game, but I thought the game was excellent. The characterizations were excellent. I've heard all this crap about how people hated the ending. I was like, what game did you watch? Because the game I watched, Curtis play, of course, was excellent. I mean, they put these characters through the depths of hell and back. These are some of two of the most. I'm spoilers from here on out if you haven't played the game yet and you're planning to play it. But we pretty much got two of the most badass females I've ever seen in any genre, hands down. I mean, these women were just total badass. And usually when you see women kicking ass in a movie or something, it looks fake. It's just a little bit unbelievable. You have to really suspend your disbelief. But this character, Abby, in the game, she was ripped. And even though Ellie is a little skinny girl who probably couldn't lift 50 pounds, she had her own way of overwhelming her enemies. And, you know, she was never punching people out or anything like that. She usually used knives or something, some kind of weapon. She would sneak up on people or whatever. But the way they sold the aggression in these women worked for me in a way I haven't seen in any action movie with females as protagonists. And I just have my hats off to that. So why did this game allow so many people, why are they dogging this game so badly? Well, my thought is that, once again, we got these Gamergate outright people who don't like diversity. And the fact is, Ellie is a lesbian. So, even though the girl she was with in the game, Dina, she's bisexual because, as you probably already know, if you play the game, she gets pregnant by her old boyfriend. So, I think a lot of people had a bad reaction to that. And the fact that there were not one but two female protagonists that you could play in the game, I think that rubbed some of them the wrong way. Of course, and some of the guys in the game, to me, they were the kind of guys, they were a little bit too nice. I could kind of see why some alpha male gamer dude would have a problem with because all of them, there's an Asian guy in a movie in a game called Jesse, and then there's another guy, I forget his name, but he was the guy interested in Abby. Both of them were kind of liberal minded, for lack of a better word. They're kind of wimpy, sensitive guy. And they're not really wimpy, I wouldn't say that. Because they were killers too, but they wasn't as good of killers as either Abby or Ellie. So there was that, but they were just so sensitive. I'm sorry about that, my stereotypical gay voice, but I'm from the perspective of somebody on the outright. That's probably how they were thinking of these characters. Oh, they just these sensitive thinking men. And, you know, to somebody playing Call of Duty or something like that, maybe that rubbed them the wrong way. I could definitely see that. But taken as a whole, this game was badass. I mean, the environments that you had to climb through just seemed so freaking desolate. I mean, and I've been to Seattle, man. I think they killed it with the site, what do you call it? The environment design. It's just so gritty and so real in a lot of ways. And the danger was ever present. It was a badass game. That's all I can say. It's just a badass game. The ending went on a little bit too long. If I was gonna criticize anything, it would probably be that. The fact that Ellie could just not let go, because as you probably know, if you played the game, Ellie. Okay, the basic plot is Joel gets killed by the daughter of the doctor that Joel killed in the last game. So the girl that actually ends up killing him actually has a good reason for killing. I mean, he killed her father. And Ellie wanted to give her life for a vaccine in the last game. So the fact that Ellie would be so upset that Joel died, because she does see him as a father, I don't know. I found it kind of hard to believe that Abby pretty much, she refuses to kill Ellie 2 times. And yet Ellie still goes and hunts her down and almost kills her. So, but, spoiler, big spoiler there. But, yeah, that ending was, it was getting kind of annoying that Ellie kept, she left. She could have had this great life with Dina and the baby, and she chose this life of constant revenge. And I think that was the moral of the story. In fact, I know that's the moral of the story. That, what's that old saying? Anybody that pursues revenge should dig 2 graves, something like that. I definitely can see what they're talking about, because you're just wasting your life. That's not to say that we should be all forgiving. I'm one of these people who think, hey, somebody kills a member of my family, I think they should pay. But at a certain point, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I think it's definitely what the message here was. It's just not worth it. You got to let go at some point and live your life. But that's all I got. I would like to thank my subscribers. Thanks for hanging in there, guys, as we try to find our footing in this post-pandemic environment. We're not totally there yet. I'm kind of all over the place with the content I've been putting up. We probably should have reviewed the King of Staten Island, but Curtis really didn't want to watch that movie. There's some other movies that have come out that we probably could have reviewed, but if you're wondering why we didn't review them, either it's because I couldn't get someone else to review it with me. Well, that's really no excuse either, because in that case, usually I will just do it by myself. But sometimes a movie just doesn't fit with what we focus on this channel. And if you want to know what that is, it's basically anything Disney related. And that includes Marvel, Star Wars. So, and you can make a natural inference that would include most of science fiction or fantasy. So if it's not in one of those categories, and occasionally we'll do an action movie too. It just depends. We did that Chris Hemsworth movie. But, he's kind of like a Marvel guy. So, I don't know. Kind of fit into our whole thing here. But, anyway. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that bell so you know when our next episode drops. Give us a like. Please like. Even if you give us a dislike, it's seen as engagement by YouTube, and it helps us. So give us a comment. Let us know what you think. I'm trying to get better about my engagement, folks. I'm trying to get better about interacting with you guys. So if you have a comment, go ahead and make a comment down below, and I will do my best to answer it in a timely fashion. But that's all I got for today. I'd like to thank you again, and be safe out there, guys. And I will see you when I see you. Thanks for watching.